Elaine Brown. I'm one of the career consultants here in the UCC Career Services, and it's my pleasure to be with you today. And we're going to be with each other for the next 15 minutes or so. And I'm hoping at the end of the talk that you'll have a better understanding of the value of an arts or social science degree and the career potential with those degrees. So to start with, we're just going to speak briefly about the career planning process. So whether I'm speaking to an engineer or a commerce student or an arts student or a social science student, the career planning process is the same. That it's really important that you take some time to reflect. So you'll see point one there, self-evaluation. So that means taking some time to reflect on what it is that you're fundamentally interested in. What is it that you really enjoyed within the Leaving Cert, with, that you found yourself, being good at, had an interest in. And these are very important indicators when thinking about a degree in UCC. Because the most important thing is that we want you to step into the right degree. I'm sure there are a number of different degrees that you could do really, really well. But it's important that we choose a degree that fits with your personality type, that fits with your interests, and also fits with your abilities. So what I mean by that is, do I want to, if we'll say I would consider myself a caring person, would I like to do a degree that could open up the potential long term of a career of working with people, maybe making a difference to people's lives? Or would I much prefer to move into a degree that's going to open up areas where I can make a contribution to the environment? Or maybe I want to move into a degree that's going to open up a career in business. So again, it's very important, I suppose, to take the time to reflect on that. And what I mean by being abilities as well is, like, for example, I might really like maths, but I mightn't be very good at maths. So it's unlikely then that I would do well in a maths degree. So the three things we're looking at in terms of self-evaluation is my personality type, what am I fundamentally interested in, and also what have I got an ability in. And once I've done that, I then start looking at degrees that I suppose follow on from what I'm fundamentally interested in. We don't do it the other way around. We don't look at degrees first and then try and, I suppose, mold myself into suiting a degree. It has to start with myself, and then from there I map the degrees on to my own interest and my own personality and my own abilities. And so that's what you're doing here today in the open day. You're exploring different degrees, listening to academics and students talk about the different degrees. And so you are, I suppose, checking out what are the opportunities, what are the career potentials with these degrees as well. And so from there, you might hone it down to a number of different degree options, and then you'll make your decision. You fill out your CEO, and then you follow that process in terms of completing that action. Based all the time on what you're fundamentally interested in. When we move away from ourselves, when we don't listen or really take time to reflect on what I'm fundamentally interested in, and then I start jumping into degrees that people say, oh, you might be very good at that, or I think that would be a good career in that area, I lose a really important step, which is about me. And this is what the employers want the students to do. They want the students to move into a degree that they fundamentally have an interest in. Because once you're in that degree, you'll have an interest in it. You'll be happy to work away at it. You'll be happy to do a bit of extra study. And of course, the grades will be reflected in that, and that you'll be getting good grades. And that's an indicator to employers, graduate employers, that you have, you made a mature decision. You came into the right degree, and that you've been working away on that. And you'll see why, I suppose, stepping into the right degree is really, really important. So again, you hear me at the minute. I'm not necessarily talking about a career at the moment. I'm just talking about getting the next step right in terms of the career, the degree choice. I want to just take a minute as well to talk a little bit about, I suppose, challenging some of the myths that are out there really about, the career potential with an arts or social science degree. So I meet a lot of students. And I meet students as well that come into arts and social science, and a lot of them are coming in with kind of preconceived notions about what they can and can't do with the degree. They believe, well, an arts degree is an extension of the Leaving Cert. The only career you can do is teaching. That's absolutely not the case. There are, multiple different careers that are open to you with an arts and social science degree. But if you're not aware of those degrees, or if you're not aware of those careers, then it is very, very difficult then when you come into an arts and social science degree to kind of feel, well, where am I going and how do I get some direction with this? Because the degree is broad. And so we have students coming into colleges, and not just UCC, but right across the country. And for example, some students will step into a specialised degree. So for example, accounting would be a specialised degree. Law would be a specialised degree. But for students who are thinking, well, maybe it might be law, it might be business, it might be occupational therapy, it might be speech and language therapy, I'm not sure. And I don't want to specialise too soon in case I get it wrong. So then coming into a broad degree is really, really valuable because it gives the student a couple of years to figure out where they want to go. Okay, so for example, your commerce degree would be considered a broad degree. It's business, but you cover all areas of business, but you still haven't specialised. We still don't know whether you want to do accounting or HR, marketing. And so they're the opportunities with arts and social science as well. You are completing a level 8 degree, you are still working on your career, but you're doing a broad degree, you haven't specialised yet. So through the life of the degree then, you'll be working with career consultants like myself and my colleagues in the career service, and we'd be helping you then from first year to really look at, I suppose, understanding the career potential with the degree, but also developing career planning skills, using your time in college proactively, which again employers are looking for, and really using your time over the next couple of years so that you come into final year of your arts degree having a very good understanding of where you're planning on going and where you're planning on specialising. So students would usually then, after the third year, say, okay, I now know where I'm going. So these are the different degrees within the College of Arts. And again, CK 101 would be, they're all level 8 honours degrees. CK 101 is your 3 years. So you complete your level 8 in 3 years. So these are all the different, and again, I suppose we're in the areas of, I suppose, the psychology and government, film, theatre, criminology. They're all, I suppose, considered arts degrees. So they're the different degrees that we have in the college. And I suppose I just want to talk a little bit about, students' perceptions versus employers' perceptions. So, for example, again, as I was saying, students would feel that, well, employers would have no interest in an arts degree or social science degree, or they'd, if I was really interested in studying something like philosophy, employers have no interest in that subject area. You can't make a career out of philosophy. Employers don't think that way at all. Employers are firstly and foremost after a level 8 honours degree, okay? And all the degrees in UCC are level 8 honours degrees. They want to make sure that the student has stepped into a degree that they have an interest in, and as I said, that would be reflected in good grades. That shows the employer that you committed to a degree that you had an interest in and you worked away at that, and we can see the good grades reflected in it. Likewise, I might meet students, maybe who have stepped into the wrong degree and of course are feeling, demotivated, feeling that they have no interest. They're kind of dragging themselves through a degree. And of course, what the employers see at the end of the 3 to 4 years is that the grades are plummeting because the student doesn't have enough interest to do the study. And so that's why we really want you to step into the right degree that you have an interest in and that you're happy to work away, because the employers are after the academic grades, okay? They're also after what we call the applied part of the degree, which is, I suppose, transferable skills or work-based skills that are developed within the degree, like presentation skills or working in teams or project skills. And then they're also looking at, well, what work experiences did the student get while they were in college? So, for example, you might need to work in Tesco's or Dunn's, to earn a couple of bob and put yourself through college. Fantastic. Students again would come to us and say, well, sure, there's nothing, not even a point in putting that on my CV because there's no value there. Again, employers don't think that way. Employers say, yes, there is value there. This is the service sector. Anything to do with retail, bars, restaurants, the McDonald's of this world, they're all providing a service to a customer or a client. So you have your big 5 law firms, the big 4 accounting firms, they provide a service to the public. And so service sector experience is really valuable. They would also be hoping that the student would maybe in second year, the summer of second year, that they would get an opportunity maybe to start getting experience in an area that they have an interest. So, for example, if they were thinking, well, I have my arts degree, but I really would like to go into law, well, were they able to get some experience for a couple of weeks, maybe in the summer of year 2, to see what it would actually be like in a law practice? Or if they were interested in something like occupational therapy, were they able to maybe get some experience working with an OT or getting some shadow work with an OT to really help them see, well, what actually is the job of an occupational therapist on a day-to-day basis. And so that getting relevant experience then, particularly in the summer of second year, is really valuable, because the student comes in then to final year having a very good sense of where they want to go. In addition to the degree and hopefully the bit of work experience, the employers would also hope that the student would have taken on at least one club or society while they were in college. And so UCC is a system, and by stepping into the system and again joining something that you've an interest in, the employer doesn't care whether it's the rugby, whether it's the dance or fashion, they don't care. But what they're after is you've chosen something you have a commitment to, and can we see where you have maybe made a contribution to that, maybe where you took on a position of responsibility, and so you're developing further skills within these clubs and societies. So the employers are always watching what employment skills have you developed through your degree, through work experiences, through hobbies and interests, maybe involvement as well within a club or society in UCC. Everything is of value to employers. Okay, so it's really important that you're aware of that. I've worked with students that did degrees in philosophy, did a master's in philosophy, did a PhD in philosophy, and is now working in one of the big consulting firms here in Ireland. Likewise, I've worked with people who have done undergraduate degrees and masters in psychology, and they're working as operation managers in the food industry. So you'll see through this talk that employers think very differently in terms of the value of the arts and the social science degree. Okay, so for all degrees, regardless of the degree discipline, arts, social science, engineering, commerce, it doesn't matter. The degree is the start of the story. It's getting a good degree, a degree you have an interest in, working at it and getting good grades. Then throughout the degree, we start exploring, I'm really interested in this area. I didn't think I would be. And so there's an opportunity maybe to take some extra classes in that or some extra credits in that, and I'm going to do that. Or I thought I might like this subject and I have an opportunity in second year to continue with it or not to continue with it. And I've realised I don't like it anymore. And so I'm going to drop that and I'm going to take this subject instead. And so you have the opportunity to do that with the arts degrees and social science degrees. You can start moving the degree based on what you're fundamentally interested in. And I suppose for all of us as human beings, we're always changing and growing all the time. So it makes sense that you might come in with an idea of what maybe the career that you like in choosing a degree, but it's through that degree you may change your mind, and that's happening with students all the time. So we're all the time checking in, where am I, what am I interested in, something is changing, something else is opening up, I'm going to follow the thread of where my interest is in. That's the most important thing. Then, as I said, we use 3 or 4 years of our time in college to get work experiences. So, for example, if I have students that are interested in journalism, they might get involved in the college magazine, the Motley magazine, and they might be involved in, I suppose, writing or submitting pieces, and having those published. And they can build like a portfolio then if they want to go on and do journalism. They already have published pieces of writing. Likewise, I might have students that are interested in maybe more the media, and they might get involved in campus radio. They might be doing the front end piece where they're, I suppose, interviewing people, or the back end piece where they're doing all the program research. But again, they're testing the career before they make a decision at the end of their degree if this is something that they really, really want. So there's, through the different clubs and societies, there's great opportunities to test different careers, and you've made no major commitment. You're just dipping your toe in, testing it to see if you like it, and then you can decide, yes, I do, and no, or no, I don't. And if you like it, you can continue on with it, get maybe further responsibility, which would look very good on the CV if you're moving into that sector later on. And of course, we would be helping you, as I said, to get relevant work experience as well during your summers. And then all of this combined, we hope then as you step into final year that you now know where you're going. So for example, if I've been studying geography in my arts degree and I've decided I actually want to become a town planner, so I'm now going to be taking on a master's that is directly related to my geography and going to allow me to qualify as a town planner. So for another student, they might say, well, I didn't get the points for law. I've loved my English and history degree, but I really want to go on and do law. So they don't have to go back and do another degree in law. because they have their level 8 arts degree, they can now do what we call a conversion course. They can do a year or 2 years converting over into a new sector. So for law, it would be a 2-year conversion course, and then they would take up their traineeship in a law firm, just like a student who did a law degree, and they continue on that way. So, but you cannot get into a conversion course without your level 8 honours degree. So that's why when I say that you've been working on your career all the time, you may not have specialised by choosing an arts or social science degree, you are still working on your career by securing the good grades, and doing a good degree. You are opening up opportunities for yourself to go on and do conversion courses or further study. And at that point, once you do further study after the degree, you are now specialising. Okay, but you cannot move into postgrad qualification or a conversion course without that level 8 honours degree. And of course, that then would open up, if it was law you were interested in doing and you did your 2-year conversion course, then of course the employment or the training contracts that you would do would be within the legal industry. Likewise, if I've decided I'm going on and doing occupational therapy, then obviously you'd go on and do your postgrad, and I'll talk about that in a minute, your 2-year conversion course in occupational therapy, and then of course you'd be applying for jobs within the HSE or in community health. So again, everything follows from ourselves. And as we're growing and developing over the 3 to 4 years of our degree, that may change. And that's why often I meet students who come in and say to me in year 1, oh, I know exactly where I'm going. I'm doing primary teaching. And I'd say, fantastic. So then maybe in second year of the degree, I might suggest that they go back to a school and maybe go back now and test to see if primary teaching is still what they're interested in. Lots come back and say, yes, it is. And I will often meet a number of students who've said, oh, my goodness, it's completely changed. I have no more interest in this. And I'd say, well, isn't that interesting? So you haven't specialised early. You didn't go straight into the primary school, primary teaching degree. You came into arts or social science, and isn't it in through that you've realised that actually teaching is no longer something you're interested in. And so that is the beauty of the broad arts or social science degree, that it gives the student a chance to figure out where they want to go. So these are just some of the postgrad courses that our students have done over the years, following on from their arts or social science degree. So you can see everything here from marketing, occupational therapy, primary secondary teaching, international business, accounting, social policy, a huge array of specialised postgraduate courses. And so, as I said, once the student is on a specialised postgrad course, like a master's in the areas I'm showing you, some of these are conversion courses as well, they are now specialising at that point in time. So everything now they do from there on, in terms of their CVs, their interviews, the type of employers that they will be applying to, will be directly related to their area of interest that they have specialised in. Briefly about what conversion courses are. They're usually a year or 2-year postgraduate courses, usually at a level 8, the same level as a degree, or some of them would be a level 9. And they allow a student, for example, who has completed a level 8 in arts or social science, who now wants to convert over into a different area, maybe like HR, maybe like law, as I said, or accounting or occupational therapy. They no longer need the points. So, for example, your occupational therapy is over 500 points coming in through the CEO. But if you do your level 8 honours degree in arts or social science, you have got some work experience to make sure that this is the right area for you and you're meeting the entry requirements. You can go on and do occupational therapy in Ireland or the UK in 2 years following your level 8, and the Leaving Cert points are not considered at that point. It is the degree results and the relevant experience. And likewise with law. So, for example, you may not have got the points for law, but again, having completed your level 8 honours degree in arts or social science, you then could go on and do, it's a 2-year conversion course in law. And then again, the entry requirements are what the grades in the degree and relevant experience. So as I said, then you go on and do the 2 years conversion course in law, and then you take up your training contract as well. So the main highest concentration of conversion courses for arts and social science students will be, they convert into business, accounting, management, financial services, they go into law, primary, secondary education, into humanities, digital humanities, marketing, HR. They go into all areas of IT. They go into graduate medicine. They go into the clinical therapies like occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, psychology, and all of these are open All of these are considered conversion courses and are open to students who have completed an arts and social science degree. The most difficult areas to convert into would be science and engineering, and students would usually need to go back and do those degrees again. So why are arts so highly sought after by employers? So more and more of our graduate employers, as they become more global, their clients are global. What they are doing is developing teams of graduates that are from diverse degree disciplines. So, for example, they will, of course, always recruit the business students and the IT students, but what they're doing more and more is recruiting science students, recruiting arts students, recruiting students who have done social policy. And the reason that they're doing that is now they bring teams of graduates together that have different ways of working with clients, have different ways of solving problems, and are really, really valuable when they're working with global clients. So if you see here on my slide, you know, I have a little, I suppose, just a bit of feedback here from employers in terms of saying employers are increasingly seeking graduates with certain broad spectrum skills and a high degree of adaptability, which are among the attributes that the arts degrees are uniquely positioned to foster. So you can see here through the slide all the different types of skills. Depending on the subject areas within the arts that you've studied, you will develop these particular skills within the degree, which are very relevant for different types of roles that you might be interested in. So these are some of the employers that have recruited from our arts and social science degree. Now you can see, again, you have the Department of Education, primary and secondary school, you have public sector jobs, you have the food industry like PepsiCo, you have the big four accounting firms, PwC, Deloitte, KPMG and EY. You have Accenture, which is one of the big IT consulting firms. A huge array, an absolute, the HSE, Leia Healthcare, Irish Life, IBEC and the Jameson's graduate programme in marketing. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. But I just wanted to give you a flavour. Now, if a student does any degree and they, for example, they do the degree, you know, they get average grades, they don't get any work experience, they don't get involved in any way over the 3 or 4 years of the degree on campus. There's no, you know, experience or skills developed for the particular industry they're interested in. It is very unlikely that student will just walk out of that degree and into one of these jobs. So using your time in college is really, really important. And so that is the case with the arts and social science students as well. That, as I said earlier on, developing a good degree, good results, using your time in college proactively, testing out careers, and then coming to the end and saying, yes, it is. I want to go on and I want to work in the IT industry. And so I know now I'm going to need a specialised master's in IT if I want to work in companies maybe like Accenture. Or if I want to get into consulting in maybe Deloitte or PwC or KPMG and EY, you know, I might go on and do maybe a master's in business or a master's in consulting. Or if I want to work in banking, I might go on and do a master's in the financial area. So at that point, I am now doing a specialised master's. But I cannot get into that master's unless I would have my level 8 honours degree. And in most cases, not alone have a good degree, but some relevant experience, paid or unpaid, in the area, so that the academics in those masters and conversion courses can see that this student knows exactly where they're going. They know now they're stepping into a specialised area, and we can see that in their application because they have maybe chosen modules in the area within the degree, and they've also gone off and got work experience to test it before they move into that specialised masters. So within the College of Arts then, myself and my colleague, so as I said, my name is Elaine Brown and my colleague Mary McCarthy, both of us are now also specialist career consultants with the College of Arts. And so our role there is to work with the academics to develop employability initiatives for students from first year to graduation. So just a couple of the initiatives that we have developed, I just want to introduce you to. The first is the first year career talk. So we work with the academics and we come in and we meet all first year arts and social science students, about 800 students in the first year of their degree. And we did that really because we found that art students particularly weren't coming to the career service. And if they were coming in I suppose, in final year. Whereas your commerce or engineering student will be breaking down the door in first year to try and meet with a career consultant, because they know the importance already of putting a plan in place in terms of, the things they might need to be doing in terms of maybe, getting some experiences or utilizing their time in college, and really wanting to understand the employment process and how to maximize, to increase the employability chances. So, but art students weren't doing that. So what we decided to do is develop a suite of first year talks, and that we work with academics. They're inside, the academics have given over an hour of their class time based on their subject area, and we go in and we meet the students and we answer as many questions that first year arts and social science students would have, in terms of, again, helping them understand the value of the degree, helping them understand the careers options open to them, how to maximize their time in college, the importance of getting involved in clubs and societies. And again, certainly with CK 101, they'll have to make a choice about which subjects they're taking for second year. And we talk about that as well in terms of subject choice. So we answer as many questions as they have. And we're also, I suppose, trying to help the students understand at that stage the career potential, because if they can understand, okay, I'm doing a broad degree, but there is a lot of career potential with it. And if they realize that, it usually helps the students to be very focused and to realize, okay, so now I know where I'm going, and now this is what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of years in helping myself to get into that particular sector. We also have the PX 2001, and my colleague Amy McMullen runs that. She's the placement manager for this programme. And this is a work placement. It's an elective that students can choose to do it. 5 credit, an extra 5 credit module, a work placement module, and that can be any student in any year from first to final year can do this work placement module, where they go out into the workplace and ideally get an opportunity to work in an area that they have an interest in, or they're trying to test to see if it's something that they would have an interest in going forward. And Amy really supports the students to get a placement of interest, and she does a lot of preparatory training in terms of helping students to engage with employers and settle into the workplace. And then I coordinate the annual Humanities and Social Science Virtual Careers Week, and that's for all students from first to final year, but predominantly second and third years. And this one is particularly relevant in terms of careers. So what I do is I bring in somewhere around 35 arts and social science alumni. So these are graduates that would have done an arts or social science degree. They're usually in the workplace maybe 3 to 5 years. And these alumni are working across 11 different industry sectors, but they all started with an arts degree or social science degree. And these alumni, I suppose, really want to come back. They want to meet the students. They want to give the students some advice. They want them to help them to understand how valuable the arts degree is, and what employers think of the degree. So this is what the timetable looked like last year when I was running it. So you can see it was run over 5 days. And then you can see our 11 sectors. So for example, on Monday, we had 3 speakers. So 35 speakers in total, and then 3 speakers. And I think there was 1 or 2 where we had 4 speakers, but 3 speakers for each of the different sectors. So we had 3 speakers for business, management, financial services, 3 speakers for marketing, PR, advertising, law, again, another 3 speakers for law and legal services. Again, you can see on the Tuesday we had IT technology, we had 3 speakers there, and then again languages in the afternoon of the Tuesday. And then on Wednesday we had speakers coming in who were working in journalism, publishing, media, and also you can see in the afternoon we had speakers in there from the arts, administration, library, curator and museum. And then we also had speakers from the TV, film and theatre on the Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we had speakers in who had done occupational therapy, speech and language therapy, social work, psychology, youth work. And then we had our primary and secondary school teachers in the afternoon under the education. And then on Friday, we had speakers in from town planning, archaeology, heritage, management as well. So all of these speakers started with an arts or social science degree. And then they went on and then did further specialist masters possibly, or a specialised conversion course, and they moved into one of these sectors. So again, I could add another 3 or 4 sectors on here. They're sitting at 11 at the minute. I could easily bring it up to 12 or 13, because that's the career potential with the arts degree. But if students aren't aware of this, they're then in a situation where they're left kind of going, well, there are no careers with the arts degree. And I suppose what I'm hoping today is really trying to address that is not the case. That is misinformation. The arts degree is incredibly valuable. But what it is that it's a non-specialized degree that gives the student a couple of years to figure out where they want to go. And from there, you now have, I suppose, a student that maybe is in their early 20s who now feels, I know exactly where I'm going. I've tested it. I've developed skills that are relevant for that sector. I've worked in the sector. I have a reference for the sector. I know exactly where I need to go now. There's a specialised master's required. And then from there, I'll be able to go in and work in that area. So that's, again, I just wanted to show you about some of the initiatives that are taking place in collaboration between the UCC Career Services and the academics within the College of Arts to help to maximise the arts and social science students' employability. So the career service is available then to students. We meet students on a one-to-one. We run, again, initiatives like I've just said, specialist initiatives for the College of Arts. We have huge supports and resources to assist students to make informed decisions when they're in their degree. So I'm hoping that, as we come to the end of our talk now, I'm hoping that you have found the information that I've given you helpful.